Companies should have a zone of tolerance for defects or errors that would not cause severe damage to the enterprise, and for which achieving complete avoidance would be too costly. But in general, companies should seek to eliminate these risks since they get no strategic benefits from taking them on. A rogue trader or an employee bribing a local official may produce some short-term profits for the firm, but over time, such actions will diminish the company's value. The risk category is best managed through active prevention, monitoring operational processes and guiding people's behaviors and decisions toward desired norms. Since considerable literature already exists on the rules-based compliance approach, we refer interested listeners to Identifying and Managing Preventable Risks in lieu of a full discussion of best practices here. Identifying and Managing Preventable Risks. Companies cannot anticipate every circumstance or conflict of interest that an employee might encounter. Thus, the first line of defense against preventable risk events is to provide guidelines clarifying the company's goals and values. The mission. A well-crafted mission statement articulates the organization's fundamental purpose, serving as a true north for all employees to follow. The first sentence of Johnson & Johnson's renowned credo, for instance, states, "We believe our first responsibility is to the doctors, nurses, and patients, to mothers and fathers, and all others who use our products and services," making clear to all employees whose interests should take precedence in any situation. Mission statements should be communicated to and understood by all employees. The values. Companies should articulate the values that guide employee behavior toward principal stakeholders, including customers, suppliers, fellow employees, communities, and shareholders. Clear value statements help employees avoid violating the company's standards and putting its reputation and assets at risk. The boundaries. A strong corporate culture clarifies what is not allowed. An explicit definition of boundaries is an effective way to control actions. Consider that 9 of the 10 commandments and 9 of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, commonly known as the Bill of Rights, are written in negative terms. Companies need corporate codes of business conduct that prescribe behaviors relating to conflicts of interest, antitrust issues, trade secrets and confidential information, bribery, discrimination, and harassment. Of course, clearly articulated statements of mission, values, and boundaries don't in themselves ensure good behavior. To counter the day-to-day pressures of organizational life, top managers must serve as role models and demonstrate that they mean what they say. Companies must institute strong internal control systems such as the segregation of duties and an active whistleblowing program to reduce not only misbehavior but also temptation. A capable and independent internal audit department, tasked with continually checking employees' compliance with internal controls and standard operating processes, also will deter employees from violating company procedures and policies and can detect violations when they do occur. Category 2. Strategy risks. A company voluntarily accepts some risk in order to generate superior returns from its strategy. A bank assumes credit risk, for example, when it lends money. Many companies take on risks through their research and development activities. Strategy risks are quite different from preventable risks because they are not inherently undesirable. A strategy with high expected returns generally requires the company to take on significant risks, and managing those risks is a key driver in capturing the potential gains. BP accepted the high risks of drilling several miles below the surface of the Gulf of Mexico because of the high value of the oil and gas it hoped to extract. Strategy risks cannot be managed through a rules-based control model. Instead, you need a risk management system designed to reduce the probability that the assumed risks actually materialize and to improve the company's ability to manage or contain the risk events should they occur. Such a system would not stop companies from undertaking risky ventures.